There's a lot of books out there today that say the same thing. On top of that, if you're looking for a specific book about a specific subject, you want to make sure that the person that wrote the book is an expert and that has experience in that topic. In today's day and age, there's a lot of con artists and scammers out there who basically stole people's words and put it together and wrote that book with basically no experience, with the intention just to make money. So I'm going to mention a couple of books which I did a deep dive. I researched the topics, I researched the books, and I researched the authors who wrote them. On top of that, I've listened to these books multiple times, and I plan on listening to them a couple of extra ones. So enough of me babbling, let's get into my 5 favorite books of 2021. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Thiago. In this channel, we talk about business, investing, and lifestyle. And I also give you practical tips and tricks on how to get ahead in life. So if you guys like this, make sure to subscribe. Okay, so book number 1. The first book I'm going to share with you guys is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Now again, you guys can fact check me, but Tim Ferriss is an entrepreneur, an investor, an author, a podcaster, and he's a lifestyle guru. In this last word that I said, lifestyle, is important because this is basically what this book revolves around. It revolves around the 4-hour work week, which is basically working for 4 hours. Now, some people might take this word for word, but what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna share with you guys my 4 biggest takeaways from this book, and I'm also gonna share with you guys how I implemented this in my life and in my business. So the first takeaway is that there's 2 ways to view wealth. The first way is the new rich, and the second way is the old rich. And you might ask yourself, what is new rich and old rich? Well, Tim Ferriss in this book basically points out that the new rich are the newer generation of rich people who don't need to be materialistically rich to live an amazing life. Well, they prefer a more financial free in living the life that they actually want. The old rich, on the other hand, are materialistically rich people who own a lot of things but aren't necessarily happy. And again, I'm not gonna talk about the whole book, but this is basically one of the biggest takeaways that I've pulled from the book. Now, takeaway number 2 is about time management. Now, in today's day and age, what we try to do is we try to pile on as much tasks as possible. We try to fill up our to-do list and to do the most things as we possibly can, because that'll actually make us look busy. So the number 2 takeaway for me in this book is time management. So in today's day and age, what we try to do is we try to pile on as much as we humanly can on our to-do list, because we want to make sure that we look productive. But on the contrary, we're not actually being productive. We're just being busybodies, and we're not actually accomplishing things. In this book, Tim Ferriss dives in and he talks about eliminating 80% of what we have on our to-do lists, because the Pareto principle says that we only get done 20% of the things on there anyway. So if we're doing 20% of the things on there, we should be focusing on the most important things. And because the 80% of the things are not getting done, and more than likely on that 80% are the important things. My takeaway number 3 is outsourcing. So we outsource as much as we can in our lives, because so there's things like washing the dishes or cleaning the house or washing your car, and all these things take up so much time. And while we could be out there making more money or enjoying life, we're doing it ourselves, and that time is getting eating away. So instead of having all that time being taken away from us, what we can do is we can hire somebody to take care of all those tasks so that that time frees up for us. And my 4th takeaway from this book is you can get things much cheaper than what you're actually getting them for. You can find many things on sales. You can find, if you're going to a different country, you can find cheaper tickets. If you live in a different country, you can also get everything you've ever wanted way cheaper than where you're probably living right now, unless you're living in a cheap country. but that's a different story. So, okay, so enough of the takeaways for this book. So let's jump in on how I apply these principles to my real estate career, because I'm a realtor, so I'm taking up all this information and seeing how I can apply it to my life. And guys, if you take away from this, and you don't have to necessarily apply this how I apply it, but at least it gives you an example on what things to do. So the new rich, what I'm basically taking away from this is that, you know, I'm not going to be materially attached to things. I'm going to write my life, I'm going to design my life, and I'm going to focus on achieving the lifestyle that I want without being tremendously materially attached to things. Does it mean not having nice things? No, but actually having the things that I want and not having extra things. And again, time management. So what am I going to do for time management? So I'm not going to put a bunch of things on my to-do list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to time block, I'm going to organize my schedule and just do the most important things. And if I can get to the other tasks, I'll get to, but I'll actually get to the tasks that gets, you know, the ball rolling for me, which is making calls, and that translates into making sales, making money, which I can invest into my business, into my life. So the third takeaway, I'm going to outsource things, right? So if I'm making calls, if I'm making all these calls, I'm a realtor, I'm self-employed. So what do? So I don't want to be a self-employed person. I want to be a business owner. So I'm going to hire an inside salesperson to make that call for me so that I no longer have to make the calls. What I can do is go to the appointments and close. So that's going to free up a lot more time so I can go to a lot more appointments. And again, I'm going to shop for things to get at a lower price. So if I'm using a specific software, which I was using, I found that the same software for like half the price, and I was able to cut that expense. And now I have that money, not necessarily that I'm saving, but I can invest it in something else, which can make me more money in return. Okay, so now let's jump to the second book. So book number 2. So this is one of the best books for personal finances for me. So this book is called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Now, Ramit Sethi is a personal finance advisor and an entrepreneur. Now, my 4 takeaways for this book is define what is rich for you, right? So everybody rich is something else. It means something different. For one person, being rich could be just having food in their house. For the other person, you know, they need a Lamborghini, a yacht, and a mansion, and to be living that Dan Bilzerian lifestyle. But again, everybody has a different way of being rich. So one thing that I took away is that just write down what I want and focus on that, and that's going to be what my richness looks like, right? And again, all of that's going to add up, and from there I'm going to know what I need to make every month in order to live that type of lifestyle. Takeaway number 2, start now. Start now with your finances. Don't leave things for later. See what you can do today that can affect your day tomorrow. Takeaway number 3, automate your wealth, right? So when you receive a paycheck, what do you do with it? Right? Does it just go into your bank account, you spend it? So here, Ramit's going to teach you how to automate your money. That way you can save, invest, and just make that money grow for you. And takeaway number 4 is focusing on working on my credit, right? So a lot of people, they're Dave Ramsey followers. They don't believe in credit, or, you know, maybe you believe in, you know, just living off of credit. But what basically he's teaching here is to work on your credit, make credit work for you, lower the rates, because that can open up a lot of doors. Okay, so now comes to the part, how can I apply this to my life? So what I did for, you know, the takeaway number 1, which was defining my, you know, what is rich for me, is I sat down, I wrote out how that looked like, and now I'm focusing on what I have to do to achieve that level. Takeaway number 2, start now. As soon as I read this book, I was already started, but, you know, I doubled down and now actually created a formula on what I needed to do to get there. Takeaway number 3 was automating my money. I actually had this set up before, but it's good for people who are new to this, right? So it's good to have, you know, separate bank accounts for separate things, and once your money falls in, you have a system that it gets distributed to all your different accounts. That way you have better management and you're able to grow that money. And step number 4, which is the credit, you know, I figured this out a long time ago, but it should be good for you guys. You know, make sure you pick up this book and you read it because it's pretty good. Now, book number 3. So the best book for negotiating and getting your way. And You guys know it, it's Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Now, Chris Voss is an FBI negotiator. He's the owner of the Black Swan Group. This guy is a ninja when it comes to negotiating. So here are my takeaways for this book. So takeaway number 1 is make sure the person feels understood. Master listening. A lot of people think that sales and negotiation is all about fast talk, being slick, and scamming people. Well, it's not. The number 1 thing you want to focus on is active listening. You want to make sure that you're hearing them, that they're feeling like they're being heard, and that they're feeling some empathy from your part. Takeaway number 2 is master mirroring and matching. And this could be a little bit weird, could be a little bit hard to get used to, but once you master this, you know, things will start getting a lot better. This basically says that whoever's talking to you, match and mirror their pace, the way they're standing, the way what they're doing. Do it in a subtle way and don't do it exactly what they're doing because it could be creepy. But the more you work on something, the better you're going to get at it. Takeaway number 3 is work on calibrated questions. Like, how am I supposed to do that? Ask open-ended questions. This way, you can create a question that makes the person think and be rational, and a question that can lead you to getting your way. And if you guys want to know more about this, read the book. And takeaway number 4 is work on your empathy. And again, I can, talk to you guys about how I can apply these things to my personal life. And I work in sales, so I'm active every day. Every person I talk to, I'm actively working on improving every single part to become a really good salesperson. And again, I can make a separate video for this. If you guys want me to make a video about the negotiation tactics I use for sales, make sure you drop a comment down below and I'll create a specific video for that. Okay, so book number 4, this is the best book for staying focused and getting your way, is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Now, Darren Hardy is a publisher of Success Magazine. He's a keynote speaker, he's an advisor and entrepreneur, and he has written various books and training programs. Now, here are my takeaways for this book. And guys, I'm going to skip a couple of things for giving examples because I feel like this video is going to get really long. So let me jump into the takeaway. So takeaway number 1 is the compound effect, and a good example of this is doubling of a penny, right? So if I'm able to double a penny every day, it's not going to be a lot for the first couple of days, but after a few days, that thing's going to go out of control and it's going to make tons of money, right? So basically in this book, it tells you to apply this to every level of your life. Here's an example anyways of sales. So if in sales I'm making no calls, the compound effect is going to take effect because I'm not going to make sales. I'm going to get discouraged and I'm going to quit. Versus me making a call every day and adding a call each day and just doubling the number of calls that I'm making, I'll eventually start getting more and more business, start making more and more money, and that'll add up to future sales. Takeaway number 2 is owning 100% of the actions you take. So he talks about working on the important actions and focusing on doing the simple tasks that you have to do, because what is easy to do, it's also easy not to do. And by taking full responsibility in doing those tasks, each of those tasks will build up, will compound, and it will lead you to getting to where you want to go. Takeaway number 3 for me is making the small, easy choices. Now, there's a lot of choices that we have to do in our lives, but if we can just take those choices and make small choices that are going to get us ahead faster, again, it's all about that compound effect. It's all going to add up in the future. And if we have a future vision of who we want to be, it's going to take us closer to that vision. Now, takeaway number 4 basically talks about the choices you make today will get amplified in the future. And again, it takes us back to takeaway number 3, right? So all of these choices that we take, if they're good choices, they're going to be amplified in the future. If you treat people good, people will know you as a good person. If you treat people bad, people will hate you and they will be spiteful and do bad things against you, right? So everything that's compounded will either be compounded in a good way, a bad way. You reap what you sow, guys. Okay, so now let's go to book number 5, and this is the final book. This is the best book for achieving and hitting your goals. So this book is The 12-Week Work Year by Brian P. Moran. Now, Brian P. Moran is an author, he's a business owner, and he's a speaker. Okay, so takeaway number 1 is redefine your year to 12 weeks, right? So we all have that yearly goal, and usually that yearly goal, it seems like it's so far and it's out of reach, and we have enough time to hit it, and we don't put enough urgency, and when we get to the end, we panic and we get stressed and we try to hit it and we end up missing it. Well, if we make our year into a 12-week work year, we'll always have that hurriness in ourselves. I don't know if hurriness is a word, but I'm using it right now. And we'll always have a daily goal of hitting it, and we'll end up hitting our goals each quarter, right? It'll bring us closer to that end of year goal. So step number 2, so this actually transitions into discarding our annual thinking, right? So stop thinking annually and think in terms of quarter. Think in terms of 12 weeks, because what is measured is achieved. What is not measured is not achieved. So takeaway number 4, execution is important, and create a system. Create a system that is easy and that will allow you to execute on your actions each day to bring you closer to hitting your goal in that 12-year span. And this might seem like it's very simple and it's no-brainer and might not seem like something that's, mind-blowing, but if you guys read this book and you apply this into your life, it will change the way that you hit your goal and you achieve your goal, and your results will explode. It will skyrocket your production, and you will achieve all the goals that you've always wanted to. So I've read various books this year. I've read paper books, I listened to audiobooks, I read books on Kindle, but out of all those books, these 5 books are the books that most stood out to me, and the books that I'm going to start off next year with that have the biggest impact in my life. Now that you guys know which of the 5 books that I recommend, I want to know which one of these books are you guys excited about reading, or have you read any of these books, or have you read all of these books? If you have, also, let me know in the comment section down below. Did you like them? You didn't like them? Let me know what you guys think about the authors too. I want to start a discussion on this. Let's go, guys. Come on. Comment something in the comment section down below. Guys, if you like this video subject and you like me to talk about books, or just to focus on one book, or to do something different, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm open. I want to know. I want to learn. I want recommendations. I want to communicate with you guys. Drop a comment down below. I will listen. Trust me. Also, if you guys are finding value in this video, make sure that you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification, because the next time I release a new video, you guys will be the first to know. For those of you guys who are fighters who have made it this long into the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop 2 videos here so you guys can binge watch. Hey guys, it's been great. Till next time.